guys, it's been a while since I've been in my bathroom making a video. I've done lots of thinking. This is generally where I do my best thinking, but what a lot going on at the moment. I've been trying to untangle a lot of things. You know, I set up this channel to offer a perspective, not advice, merely my opinion and the things that I'd learned because I thought they were useful. Now we find, Jeremy, go downstairs. We find ourselves in a place of real struggle, I think is the word. It's been a really unprecedented time, and when I left my job last year, I'd actually done quite a lot of soul searching, I guess you could say, and I have learned a lot of things that I found very helpful to me. Things that in this sort of period of, I don't know what the word is, things that are not quite normal, things that I found helpful, which of course you always want to share. And I've said before, I'm very aware that even when things are difficult, the things that I find helpful may not be helpful to someone else, and certainly not if they're not asking for help. So here's the conundrum, because I believe there are things that I have learned that would be helpful, but don't want to put that on anyone that is not asking, yet I still feel sympathy for people that clearly have struggles, either that I've heard of on a sort of group level or individuals that I speak to, which is fine. We're all human, right? It would be crazy not to feel sympathy in any, terrible situation. We can feel, then we'll take sympathy as a given because we're human. Of course we'd feel that, of course. So then empathy, actually sitting beside someone and feeling it, which we all have our own struggles emotionally to bear the burden. So to then shoulder that from, at the moment, feels like there's a lot of people. In Guernsey where I live, we're out of lockdown, but I feel this undercurrent of heaviness. People that I've spoken to, things have changed. People that had jobs no longer have jobs. The things they'd identified with are now unravelling a bit, and I feel that. But I can't and shan't burden that for everyone. So that leads to me finding compassion, which is acknowledging empathy and the struggles that people have, but actually doing something about it. Sympathy, of course we do, we're human. Empathy, there's a way. Compassion, acknowledging it and trying to do something, hence this channel. And it's here purely for the 18 of you that have subscribed. If you're interested to listen, if you think the things that I say are useful or maybe useful for someone else, please share them. But my compassion goes to those that are, seeking it. The things that I have really learned in life that enable me to sit much more comfortably, either in struggle or to find a way out of it. And this goes back to, even a year ago when I was thinking, crikey, I used to have an office job. There was a sort of degree of status, I suppose, that went with it. And when I didn't, or I chose not to have that, it was a weird sort of thing to get my head around. We live in a very materialistic and egoic culture. And as humans, our egos are there to get, be better than someone else. That's it. It's a comparison. It's like, oh, I've got that and you don't because that, And we find things that we want, that we identify with, that we think make up who we are. Or what we think other people will perceive us to be. You can't even tell. So here's an example that I'd heard. You got a Rolls Royce. You have a car, you have this expensive car that you identify with, that becomes, you believe, is part of you. But except in some weird part of the universe, everyone at the age of 21 gets a Rolls Royce. So therefore you're no different to anyone else because of the things you have. And that's sort of the point. We all kind of go ferreting around trying to find things that we identify with. And if you saw a picture of someone, because we make judgments on people every day, like that, you see, and these are stereotypes. These are not my thoughts, but these are stereotypes that one may, oh, look at that person, they go to the gym, they must be really vain. They might be a lovely person. They might be really interested in health, or they may be a complete dickhead. But you can't tell that from looking at someone. Or, because of the watch they have, or the car they drive, or the size of their house, or their intelligence, or the things we identify with run much deeper. Now you can get into all the kookiness of that, and I find that quite interesting. But as long as, in the first instance, realising this level of ego, just really not good. It doesn't achieve very much. But herein lies the issue at the moment when I speak to a lot of people that have lost their jobs. They've identified themselves as that role, that job title for many, many years. I've said before in an earlier video, if you're, as I was, a marketing manager, I'm not a marketing manager, I'm Lucy. I'm more than that job title. But that's when you start looking a bit deeper and going, oh God, what am I? Am I a good person? Am I kind? Am I compassionate? I'm not my latest haircut. But once you find that ease, then life can become much easier. We're not fighting to get to the next thing. A lot of the things that when we're thinking about ego are literally just thoughts. It's what we think stuff makes us, and we think about other people based on the things that they think they identify with. I mean, quite frankly, someone that's walking around we all find different ways to identify, and you might, those stereotypes, what am I trying to say? If you dress a particular way, then because of social norms, you want people to make that assumption about you. They might think something completely different. We all have different perceptions, don't we? But it's all just thoughts. It's all just thoughts. When things are difficult and somebody says, oh, how are you feeling? And it's like, oh, feeling, not thought, actual feeling. The one, and I'm still trying to unravel some of these emotions, but an easier one would be excitement. If you're excited, your heart's racing a bit, your palms get a bit sweaty. There's a physical manifestation of that emotion rather than just thinking, oh, I'm really happy, as a thought. Do you see what I mean? Oh, I feel really sad. Or the emotion of that would be grief, which I believe you can feel physically. And if you're more tuned into that, there's quite a difference between the emotions that physically manifest versus just a thought that, oh, I feel feel happy, I feel sad, or just this, just being aware. The feelings that we have are just thoughts, and you can drive yourself bananas with these. In these times of struggle, aside from the what am I identifying with in amongst ego and all of this other craziness, I feel sad, I feel lonely, I feel... They're merely thoughts. It doesn't define what your future will look like. In fact, while you're... And as an example, and I've done a video a while back, I felt, in fact, it did manifest physically, but I thought about it so much, I had such a sad thought, that the sad thought got bigger and bigger and bigger until I then was not seeing everything or experiencing everything that was happening now, all the really lovely stuff. So my role has slowed unbelievably since I left, but it's so lovely. It's really calm. I'm not in a rush. Obviously, I have deadlines to meet for the business bits that I run, and on that subject, because this was a journey about my setting up a small business, and as we come out of lockdown for me meant I couldn't work, not in the truest sense. I couldn't make cakes because I couldn't deliver them, but I sought out a little community to do, with no intention other than just because I had nothing else to do and I wanted that connection. Bake with Lucy's live feeds on Facebook and Instagram, and people come and going, I love that, it was brilliant. I don't know what I'll do with that. I don't feel at the moment I need to do anything. Aside from my ego, which can sit over there, I'm not interested in likes, on shares, on how many people comment on my pictures, or... Doesn't matter, I don't need that. Every day I wake up, most of the time, just going, just happy in the now. If anyone is interested, there was a book I bought a couple of years ago actually. I downloaded it on my Kindle because somebody told me they read it, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, who's a spiritual teacher. And I started reading it, I was like, this makes no sense to me. A couple of weeks ago I started reading it again. I've been listening to a few more of his podcasts, and it all starts to... There are words like consciousness, being, awakening. And if you're not ready to hear that, it'll literally blow your mind. As I said earlier, for me, the thing to realise is this level of ego. And if you're aware that it's there, it can really shift your perspectives. It's no more than that, just going, yes, I don't need that. I'm not wearing this because I've been in my t-shirt this morning. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the things that I'm saying. Whether I was sat here in a designer tee, I don't even know where this is from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like the analogy of a room, thinking it's the contents, like this is the bathroom because it's got a bath and it's got a toilet and it's got blinds and a window. It's the stuff in it. But a room actually is the space. Which, this is probably a bit weary now, but we're not the things we have, we're the space in between, which you don't have to understand, you just trust that it's there. So, ego, struggle, compassion, what this video was there to help offer a perspective. People like Eckhart Tolle, there's an amazing podcast I just watched with him and Russell Brand, a current one actually, it was about a week ago, and it's about 2 hours long. It's worth listening to if you're interested in that, and if not, then it's a journey. And if you start looking at like the definitions of words, what's the difference between feeling guilty and feeling shame? Quite a lot, but it's something that I hear people say, I feel really guilty. Guilt is if you've actually done something wrong. Shame runs a bit deeper, unfortunately, but it's whilst there's a lot going on, it's important to keep... Well, there was the 3 things, wasn't there? When I left my job to do something, I wanted to feel inspired, fulfilled and safe. And I think, well, in terms of safe, I mean, I have my back. I'm not expecting anyone else to be responsible for my outcomes apart from me. And that comes down to taking responsibility and owning decisions. I'll ask people's opinions, and I'll offer mine freely if asked, but the decisions I make are my own. And if they go right, brilliant, I'll take that. And if they go wrong, well, that's on me as well. It's not for anyone else. It's not for anyone else, because then if things do go right, you can't really properly revel in them because it was not your decision. Oh, I've gone completely off on a tangent. But in any case, these videos were meant to be helpful and offer a perspective. Things like, when you start stripping back the ego and what that means and how you think you identify, what's left at the heart of that? We're a little ripple as part of the whole universe. We're not looking at that ripple in the sea and going, oh, they're bigger than me. We're a part of it. It's a much more, and again, it's a state of mind. It's simply perspective, but it offers a much more chilled, much more joyful life. I found. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm a stroppy whatnot sometimes. Ask my husband. And certainly when I'm making cakes, it's like, oh, I want to do that. Oh gosh, this is difficult. Oh my gosh, I'm never making cakes again. Oh, it's so good. This I've said this before. There's a lot of things I've said before. Maybe not on this forum, but I don't know. I just feel that I can't burden. I can't take the weight of everybody's struggles, because I feel them. I do, because I've been there. And so the thing to do is to share the things that I found helpful to those that simply want to listen, and to those that don't, well, not their time yet. It's as simple as that. So ego, compassion, leads for a much more joyful life. Don't be in a rush. One thing I haven't spoken about, which is sort of at the heart of all of this, is mindfulness. When I left last year, it was over a year ago, I had decided, was from the point of going full-time self-employed, I had decided to keep my schedule that I used to have. So I get up same time every day. I've done this since I've had my dog. Get up, go for a walk, and that was just a given. It wasn't even a decision I needed to debate, or it was just. And I also, because of this journey, looking for, more inspiring life, more fulfilling. It occurs to me that the time we spend thinking or not thinking is really beneficial. So I've been practicing yoga every day for over a year, and simply trust the process. Now, apart from in the mornings when I go to put my trousers on and I can actually, bend my knee up without falling over and creaking because it's such a long way down, there's the physical. But when I'm in the practice, I'm not thinking about anything else. And that's led to meditation, and I had a sound bath with Tibetan singing bowls the other day. A workout for your brain. I think the vibrations of the sound obviously do. Anyway, whether or not you believe in the spiritual healing of it, it was an amazing experience. But time to rest your brain, just sitting. And if you're emotionally have grief, or you feel that pain, take time to sit with it. Don't think, slow your roll. We don't have to do anything. Life can be just really exhausting. I noticed as soon as we came out of lockdown it seemed to me that everyone's driving really fast again. They've got to get places, having had this period where we weren't allowed to leave the house. So actually, it was, commuter times. I think one of my friends had said, the difference in a day can be up to like an hour and a half, 2 hours, when they're not having to drive around everywhere. Anyway, video today is a mishmash of all sorts. I don't even know what I would title it. Coming out of lockdown, spiritual awakening, I don't know. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Things that I've said may offer a different perspective or a start to thinking about things slightly differently. But there are many, many people that I have spoken to, and I'm sure you hear through, that are in a place where things aren't normal, whatever that was. And so what does that look like now when you potentially, and it comes down to money and the ego, the things that you have versus the things that you need, and the things that you identify with. And if you can put ego aside, much better place to be. And acknowledging that in the first instance, you can then go to the spiritual awakening and living in the now, being present and just enjoying now, instead of wallowing in thoughts about something that may or may not happen in the future. I wanted a more inspiring, more fulfilling, safer life. And thus far, but it's a journey. I'm learning stuff all the time. I just wanted to share some of those things for anyone that wanted to listen. That's it. I've listened to podcasts that have gone on for hours and hours, and I've listened to lots of different, at one point I was reading the Gulag Archipelago, which was about the prisoner of war camps and communism in the Soviet Union, trying to understand. There seemed to be a lot of people with a lot of things to say, and creating differences of people, and my head, there was a lot. We've had, certainly in Guernsey and globally, Black Lives Matter, the Discrimination Act, then the what was the other one, the trying to decriminalise drugs, and just lots of people with lots of things to say that seem to be separating out people because of the groups they were in, rather than celebrating the individual and the fact that we're all different. But that's what keeps me inspired, to learn all this different stuff, how horrible humans can be, but also how wonderful the universe is. Dr. Brian Cox and Russell Brand did a podcast. Amazing, because you've got a scientist and a religious man that pretty much agree on everything apart from the start of the universe. But it doesn't matter. Actually, it didn't at all. It's really fun. But all of those. So anyway, look, there's lots of things to be inspired about. Am I fulfilled? Every day. I'm not waiting for the weekend. I'm not waiting for those 2 weeks on holiday, from which no one can really do. Because every morning I wake up. Yesterday, tides up. I'm going to go for a swim. Every day's a holiday. Obviously I have to work, I've got commitments, but I need less. I'm not out there to impress anyone. I'm also not, I didn't want to sit here and be, it's just a different way of thinking. I'm really happy, I'm really happy. But I've spent a long time thinking about these things, and I'm just aware that I feel the weight of the struggles that from people I speak to, or through other people and friends of friends of friends, and really wanted to see about trying to do something about it without being a dick and getting in the way, Anyway, if it's useful, the things that I've said, but people like Russell Brand, like Jordan Peterson, like Brené Brown, Eckhart Tolle, if you like someone that's really good at arguing in a debate, Ben Shapiro is hilarious. I don't necessarily agree with all of his views, but people find it. He goes around on the university circuit to. People think it's a bit of a challenge to see if they can out debate him. No one really can. he's just so aware of his own beliefs that's it. He knows. He's also very, very quick, very sharp. But you know, there's lots of places to find inspiration. Yoga with Adrian. Oh my gosh! So I find her on YouTube every morning. Amazing. And now these sound baths. There's plenty of stuff to be interested in amongst not being busy. When people say to me now, "Oh, are you busy with cakes?" That's not why I did it. I wanted it. Well, originally I felt more creative, but as an upshot, it's been much more transformational than that. I don't want to be busy. I want to enjoy my life every day, even when it's tough and there are struggles and we feel pain. Not thinking about it, the physical emotions. So there we go. What's that? 26 minutes in my bathroom. The last one I did was on day 1 of lockdown. I might go back and watch that and just see. I think I remember sitting there thinking, I'm not going to do anything, because some mornings I think I can change the world. Or maybe today, in this video will reach someone that goes, and that's it. Don't have to change the whole world. Who bloody can? Lots of love.